Today, while my video series 90, let us understand Incoterms, international commercial terms used in international trade. Incoterms, the short form of international commercial terms, are published by International Chamber of Commerce (ICC). Incoterms prevent confusion in foreign trade contracts by classifying the obligations of buyers, that is the importers, and sellers, exporters. Incoterms are incorporated into export-import sales agreements and contracts worldwide and are a necessary part of the foreign trade. These standardized rules define responsibilities for carriage, customs clearance, and risk, including the party responsible for making payments for loading onto and from transport and the production of documents. Incoterms lay down the manner in which the various costs and risks are allocated to different parties in different contracts. Latest revision of Incoterms were made effective from 1/1/2011. There are 11 Incoterms. The Incoterms are classified into one, any mode of transports, and another one is waterway and maritime terms. The classification is deliveries by any mode or modes of transport, sea, road, air, rail, multi-mode. They are divided into EXW, FCA, CPT, CIP, DAP, DAT, and DDP. And the second part is deliveries by sea or inland waterway modes of transport. There are 4 Incoterms covering this. They are FAS, FOB, CFR, and CIF. Let us understand each one of them. Before going into the Incoterms, let us understand the various costs or expenses incurred by either the exporter or by the importer. 1. Packing charges. 2. Loading charges. 3. Transport charges to the port in case the transportation is through seaport. Unloading charges at the port, wharfage or porterage charges, export duty, customs clearance, security charges at the port, loading on the carrier, carriage charges, there is a ocean freight, marine insurance premium, destination terminal charges, goods unloading charges from the carrier, import duties at the destination, loading charges to the final destination, transportation charges to the final destination, unloading charges at the final destination. The list is not exhaustive. These are some of the charges which are incurred either by the exporter or by the importer. Who will be responsible for these charges will be described in the contract entered into between the seller and the buyer. In this case, an exporter and the importer. Let us first understand the rules for deliveries by any mode or modes of transport. It could be sea, it could be road, air, rail, multimodal. There are 7 Incoterms included under this: EXW, FCA, CPT, CIP, DAP, DAT, and DDP. Let us understand each one of them first. EXW is X Works or X Warehouse. Here, the seller means the exporter, hands over the goods to the buyer at the seller's premises. The seller has the least responsibility, risk, and cost. The seller is responsible for making available the goods weighed, inspected, and packed at his factory or place specified by him. All transportation charges and all other expenses and all risk from them are on the responsibility of the buyer. The seller does not need to load the goods on any collecting vehicle, nor does it need to clear the goods for export where such clearance is applicable. This term represents the minimum responsibility and obligation for the seller, that is the exporter. So the charges incurred by the seller will be weighing charges, inspection charges, and packing charges. Once it is packed at his premises, the exporter hands over the goods to the importer. That is what is called X Works or X Warehouse. The second one is called FCA, Free Carrier. In this case, the seller, when we refer to seller, the exporter transports the goods to the port, get the formalities cleared, including payment of duties, and pass on the goods to the carrier. The seller is responsible to deliver the goods ready for shipment to the transport company or the transport agent specified by the buyer. Risk and responsibility pass on to the buyer, that is the importer, the moment the carrier accepts the goods. This term is used particularly in case of multimodal transport. The seller's responsibility is fulfilled when he delivers the goods into the custody of the carrier at the named port. Now, the charges generally incurred by the exporter are weighing charges, inspection charges, packaging charges, loading charges, transportation charge to the port, unloading charges at the port, wharfage or portage charges, export duty, customs clearance, security charges at the port. The moment he transfers the goods to the shipping agent, his responsibility ends. The third one is CPT, carriage paid to. Here, the seller transports the goods to the port, get the formalities cleared, including payment of duties, and 1. Pass on the goods to the carrier, and 2. Pays the freight also. The responsibility of the seller is to deliver the goods and pay the freight to the specified transport company or carrier. The risk passes to the buyer on delivery to the carrier. Carriage paid to means that the seller delivers the goods to the carrier or another person nominated by the seller at an agreed place, if any such place is agreed between parties, and that the seller must contract for and pay the cost of carriage necessary to bring the goods to the named place of destination. Here the charges will be packing charges, loading charges, transport charges to the port, unloading charges at the port, wharfage or portage charges, export duty, customs clearance, security charges at the port, loading on the carrier, and carriage charges, which is ocean freight. The moment the goods are handed over to the shipping company and the freight is paid, the exporter's responsibility and obligation ends. The fourth one is CIP, carriage and insurance paid to. Here, the seller transports the goods to the port, get the formalities cleared, including payment of duties, pass on the goods to the carrier, pays the freight, and also pays the minimum insurance premium also. The seller also contracts for insurance cover against the buyer's risk of loss or damage to the goods during the carriage. The buyer should note that under CIP, the seller is required to obtain insurance only on minimum cover. Should the buyer wish to have more insurance protection, it will need either to agree as much expressly with the seller or to make its own extra insurance arrangement. Here, in addition to payment of freight, the marine insurance premium, the minimum amount also paid by the exporter. From then, the responsibility is shifted to the importer. The fifth one is DAP, delivered at place. Here, no loading of goods from the ship or plane or truck or train etc. by the seller. In this case, risk transfer takes place on the board of the vessel. Delivery of goods takes place at the named destination. The seller delivers the goods to the buyer at the named destination on unloaded basis. The goods will continue to remain on board the ship. So here the charges will be, in addition to the ocean freight, marine insurance premium is also paid by the exporter. His responsibility ceases the moment the ship reaches the destination. He hands over the goods to the importer on board the vessel. Sixth one is delivered at place unloaded, DPU. This replaces Incoterm 2010, delivered at terminal. In this case, delivery happens at a specified point within the terminal. Goods are unloaded by the seller. Delivered at place unloaded means that the seller delivers when the goods once unloaded are placed at the disposal of the buyer at a named place of destination. The seller bears all risk involved in bringing the goods to and unloading them at the named place of destination. Delivery of goods take place at the named destination. Delivery occurs when the goods have been placed at the buyer's disposal at the named terminal at the port or place of destination, unloaded from the arriving means of transfer. In DPU, the exporter has to unload the goods, whereas in DAP, the exporter does not unload the goods. So here, after the marine insurance premium, destination terminal charges and unloading charges at the terminal will be to the account of the exporter. The last one is DDP, delivered duty paid. Here, even payment of import duty and completion of import formalities at the destination are the responsibilities of the exporter. Delivered duty paid means that the seller delivers the goods when the goods are placed at the disposal of the buyer, cleared for import on the arriving means of transport, ready for unloading at the named place of destination. The seller bears all cost and risk involved in bringing the goods to the place of destination and has an obligation to clear the goods not only for export but also for import, to pay any duty for both export and import, and carry out all customs formalities. DDP represents the maximum obligation for the seller. So here at the terminal, import duties at the destination, loading charges to the final destination, transportation charges to the final destination, unloading charges at the final destination are all to the account of the exporter. Now let us move on to the rules for sea and inland waterway transport, deliveries by sea, inland waterway modes of transport. There are 4 Incoterms: FAS, FOB, CFR and CIF. Let us look at each one of them. First one is FAS, free alongside ship. In this case, the seller gets all the formalities cleared up to the customs clearance and then places the goods alongside of the ship and notifies the buyer. His responsibility ceases at this point. He doesn't even load the goods on board of the ship. All costs after keeping the goods alongside the vessel, such as loading charges to take the goods onto the ship, freight charges, ocean marine insurance, etc., are met by the buyer, the importer. This term indicates that the price includes all costs incurred in delivering the goods alongside the vessel at the port of export or other place named, but does not include charges for loading the goods on board the vessel. It also does not include ocean freight charges and marine insurance premium. The exporter's obligations are fulfilled as and when the goods have been placed by him alongside the vessel and notified to the buyer. The buyer is responsible to bear all cost and risk or loss or damage to the goods thereafter. So the seller bears the following charges: packing charges, loading charges, transport charges to the port, unloading charges at the port, wharfage or portage charges, export duty, customs clearance, security charges, etc. The next one is free on board or FOB. In this case, the seller gets all formalities cleared up to customs clearance and then the seller is responsible to load the goods on the ship specified by the buyer. When the goods are on board the vessel, the risk of loss or damage to the goods passes to the buyer. The buyer bears all costs from that moment onwards. The seller is responsible for loading the goods on the ship specified by the buyer and in which the buyer has booked a space. In the FOB transaction, the bill of lading must carry the word ship on board and it must bear the signature of the carrier or his authorized representative together with the date on which the goods were boarded. Here the exporter bears these costs: cost of checking the quality measure, weight or quantity, packing charges, transportation to the place of shipment, wharfage and portage, custom duties, export duties, loading charges on the carrier. The next one is CFR, cost and freight. Here the seller or the exporter has to clear the goods for export, loads the goods on board the ship, pays freight charges for transporting the goods to the port of destination. That is, all costs till boarding the goods on the ship and payment of the freight for the goods to reach the port of destination are to the account of the seller. A price quoted on CFR terms includes the FOB value of the goods and freight charges of transporting the goods to the port of destination. In a CFR transaction, though the exporter bears the cost of carriage to the named destination, the risk is already transferred to the buyer, that is the importer, at the port of shipment itself. Here, in addition to all charges, he bears the cost of loading the goods on the carrier and pays the ocean freight. The next one is cost, insurance and freight. Here the seller has to clear the goods for export, loads the goods on board the ship, pays freight charges of transporting the goods to the port of destination and pays ocean marine insurance premium against the buyer's risk of loss or damage to the goods during carriage. That is, all costs till boarding the goods on the ship and payment of the freight and ocean marine insurance premium till the goods reach the port of destination or to the account of the seller. So in addition to all the other charges, he also pays the marine insurance premium in this case. So while this video series 90, we have learned Incoterms used in international trade. We have understood the rights, obligations and risk of buyers, that is the importers and sellers, exporters, when the terms are used in sale contracts. Subscribe to this channel to receive intimation on my new videos. Please note that subscribing to this channel is free. Press the like button and share the information with your friends and colleagues. In my next video 91, I shall come out with another interesting topic on lending. Thank you all very much. Visit my website www.lendinghub.co.in. Thank you very much.